Lindsay's with us. Lindsay's in Phoenix, Arizona. How are you, Lindsay? Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Thanks. I'm great. How are you, Dave?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
I'm 22, a recent college grad, and I am debt-free. And I have been talking to my parents, and they recommend that I get a credit card to start putting my groceries on it and paying it off right away to build credit in case something happens to my 13-year-old car and I need to get a new car. What do you recommend?
Well, I recommend if you want to get into debt and stay in debt and live a life of debt for the rest of your life, that you follow their advice.
Okay.
If you don't want to get into debt, then there's not any point in building your credit, is there?
Well, that's what I thought, but they're concerned that I won't be able to get like a home or anything like that if I don't have credit.
Well, that's because they don't know what they're talking about. You can qualify for a mortgage to buy a home if you have zero credit. Okay. You just have to have paid your landlord on time. You have to have a steady job. You have to have a reasonable down payment, those kinds of things. And when you get ready to replace your 13-year-old car, you should have saved money and do that with cash. Otherwise, you're going to be like everybody else and live paycheck to paycheck and car payment to car payment and credit card payment to credit card payment, and we're going to go into debt. Why? So we have the opportunity to run up our credit, so then we can more easily get more debt. Why? Because then we have the opportunity to build up our credit so that we can more easily go into debt. And we live our lives trying to worship at the altar of the great FICO score instead of trying to build wealth. I think it's a broken philosophy, Lindsay.
Okay, all right.
And you kind of knew that when you called me, right?
Yeah, I did. I just wanted to make sure that I wasn't being, a disrespectful 22-year-old daughter.
Well, it's how you respond. If you respond like I just responded, it might be disrespectful. But I don't really care if they think I disrespected them, because I'm not really disrespecting them. I'm disrespecting the culture and the cultural acceptance of the stupid suggestion that they made. They made a suggestion thinking they were doing something good for their daughter, and the reason is they have bought the lie. And I haven't had a credit card or borrowed a dime in 25 years.
Wow.
Isn't that weird? And you're sitting there debt-free. Why are you debt-free? If being in debt is so sexy, why aren't you in debt?
Well, I went to a college that was supported by a bunch of churches, and so it actually made it possible for the students to get out debt-free.
Why do you think they did that? Because debt is not a good idea.
Yeah, definitely.
And so, they're moving you that way, because here's the deal. If you just spend, your most powerful wealth-building tool for your future is your income. And every time you sign up for payments, you have less of your income because you've committed more of it to the bank. Proverbs 22:7 says the borrower is slave to the lender. And the first level of slavery there is mathematical. Because when you commit all of what you're working for to somebody else, you don't have any money. And that's what most people do. And so I'm going to, really try to talk you into not living a life of payment to payment, worshiping at the altar of the great FICO as if he is your provider, the FICO score, because he's not your provider. Thanks for the call.